It is off, right? Right? So once again, it is time for the weekly thing where we do things like we pick my 4 favorite ArtStation artworks from last week. That went well. There's a lot of oohs and ahs. So what do we call this thing? I don't know. Steve, what do we call this thing? No, nothing. It was something like weekly ArtStation masterpieces. Yeah, there we go. And we have the logo. Do we have the music? No. So then you have the logo. Like, ba-ba-da-ba. Really good song. All right. And we start with this. Number 1. This is Goosebumps: The Game Backgrounds by Anton Zabolotsky. Or Zabolotsky? Let's go with that. Wow, what a piece. And there are 2 pieces actually in this one. It's put 2 things in the same file, so to speak. The other one is some type of shack. Old shed. Old shed in the field. It says it right here, so you don't have to guess. And this one is in the basement. And I've made adventure game backgrounds back in the day, like last summer, but nothing like this. Look at the amount of polish on these ones. You just like take the polish and start smearing. First of all, the colors. The whole blue sky thing, and you can see some... Is that just... Oh man, I think you can see like stars in the background, but that's just... Is that just like dust on the monitor? Oh, this is good. This is grand. Let's see. Yeah. So it's not that good. I adore the colors. The blue sky, it puts me in that state of mind, whereas as a child, because I lived back in the countryside when I was a little kid. This just reminds me of those good old days. And the colors very vivid. I had this discussion with somebody. They were making an argument that if you want to have a mature feel in your pictures, then you don't saturate any of your colors. You don't use any saturation or anything. And I was like, dude, what? That's the most adult, most mature thing you can do. It's just fill to the brim with saturation. And it's like, no, but in real world there's nothing, no saturation in anything. Not true. Completely false. Maybe there's something wrong with your eyes, I don't know, but this puts me to a real world. This to me is just, I'm getting the most vivid senses out of this one. And the basement thing, I really adore how, first of all, the lights. This was a really, really neat idea. From the furnace, the lights are coming in this sort of pattern, and you got all the woodworking tools just lined up on the shelf here. Everything in its place. You have to have the right amount of detail. Things that will pique the interest of the player. This is what I've started to look into a little bit more in the recent weeks with my own artworks, is the foreground blur in the foreground elements. So you have very dark values in the foreground elements, like these branches or these branches or these branches or here. Because if they are close to the camera lens is gonna blur the things out of focus. And it just works very well. And this is what I'm doing in my own paintings. Now, if I put something on the foreground, I blur it. It just works. It makes the blurry things make the thing in the focus stand out. So speaking of that more mature feel, I don't know, this whole thing here has more of a gray feel to it, because of the lighting. And of course these things are very saturated, the light things on the floor here. But if you have gray tiles, of course the gray tiles are not gonna be bright pink or something. But what I'm saying is that if you have just sun shining outside, then everything is gonna look very, very saturated. Everything. Then again, if you live somewhere like in Seattle or the Britain, then probably maybe the sun is never shining, I don't know. Welcome to your mature Britain. Then let's go to the next one. This one, a dumpling shop by, I'm assuming some Korean artist. Unfortunately, I cannot read Korean, but with the dumpling shop, I was just in awe with this whole thing. As a kid, I used to love these little tiny places that are filled with all sorts of gadgets and instruments, and you have your little shop and you have everything in hand and cram everything in there, and you're doing everything in this little tiny space. I don't know why, maybe I worked in a little dumpling shop in my previous life, but here you have this whole shop on the back of this moped. What an idea! And you have these disembodied hands throwing around these awesome dumplings. Everything is looking very they're so tactile somehow. I recently bought one of these steaming baskets, and they look exactly like this. Exactly. It's just, you just want to hold them on your arms like you're a newborn baby. I don't know, everything, the logo, these things especially. You just, when you color these things, I mean, the line art is pretty amazing, but when you color these things, when you just decide where you put the highlights and you make them look so, you just want to like shove those things in your face. You got these little menus here, you got this little, whatever this is called, some sort of fable girl, just there wanting to make her purchase, her first purchase, holding this giant coin, because that's what you feel like as a kid when you go to some sort of stand and you want to buy the one thing and you're just holding the money there. Can I please have that Transformers bubblegum statue? And the character, would you call this the chef character, or is she more of a just the delivery guy, and then these hands are the chef? She's looking very, very happy to be doing her job. Also, she's got the best boots. Look at those boots. And some people just know what they're doing, and I can do nothing else to do except hats off to the people with the skills. Next up, number 3, we got Wen Juan Lee doing some sort of stage. I assume some sort of pop stage. I'm assuming this is for some sort of either visual novel or adventure game, but I could definitely see a leisure suit Larry character just walking around the stage, walking around the stairs and touching everything, making very inappropriate comments about everything. And last week we were painting our own mirror balls. It was not going well, but these look amazing. And there's not one, not two, but there's 5 mirror balls hanging from the ceiling. 5! I was wondering this to myself, like, you have these characters in the background here, which are very well rendered. So do you just, when you're making this sort of background where you have these advertisements hanging on the at the rims of the stage, do you start painting? Do you paint these characters individually just for this piece? Just so you can have your tiny little pictures in the background? Because that's a lot of work. These are really, really detailed. Or do you just take something from your back catalog? Just take something and you put it there. I don't know, because it would be like an amazing coincidence to have something that just fits this piece. But that's my question, I don't know. And the other thing I was thinking, is this like 3D rendered? But no, if you look at the rafters, or what do you call these little things here that are holding the place together, or that are holding the lights, I guess. These are painted. These are hand painted. Maybe they use some sort of 3D model as a base for the thing, but in any case, I just like the painterly look. And the background, the buildings in the background, very much just hand painted. You can see the brush strokes on these things. Absolutely. Unless you can somehow render that sort of visual style now, but I don't think so. All these buildings, they just look like candy. You just want to eat them up. I could go on and on about this thing, about the monitors on the floor, about the speakers, or the cabinets, there's so much to go through in this piece. And that's what amazes me, how much work goes into this sort of thing. You keep fine-tuning every little detail. Even if you know exactly what you're doing and you waste no brush strokes, it is so much work to just put everything there. I have an idea how I would do it. It would take me a whole week, and then the next week, a lot of work. For the 4th piece of the week, we have portrait painting by Payam Jafari. What drew me into this piece was that the character very, very, very much reminded me of that Hero Quest cover. If you remember Hero Quest, the board game, I don't know if it was even the cover, or was it the Dungeon Master screen that had the character there just looming over everybody. it had this sort of feel to it. It's got so much character. That's what I love about this. It's not just put white hair on a dude and that's it, call it a day. No, it's got so much character. The eyebrows, the look of the eyes, the expression. If you look down here under the nose, on the mustache, as it were, there's this odd, almost kind of odd, like yellowish orange tone. When you start to think about it, if you were to paint this piece and you're just painting everything, you're putting everything together, would you at any point, without a reference, would you at any point just decide that, okay, I'm gonna put this yellowish thing here on the mustache? Because I wouldn't know why I would do that. But it adds so much to the piece. It's almost bringing the whole thing together. It's an oddly specific detail that sort of lifts up the face and draws the eyes into the center of the artwork. It's like a traffic light, really. You got the red light, you got the yellow light, and this is almost the green light here. Look at your traffic lights on the piece. But wow, I want to be able to do hair like that. It's not super detailed. It's not like you got your brush size 2 and you start painting your little strands of hair everywhere. But it's just very, very balanced and everything is looking like a real thing almost. If you look this like just a little bit further away, it looks like a real person. It looks like a photo. But I just can't get over the expression, all the detail in the face, the nose, how it's pointing downwards, how the eyebrows are pointing downwards, and how the eyes are just hidden in this sort of shadow, and it's gazing like some sort of... You got that sort of Christopher Lee type of... Who's the character? Saruman type of character who's just like intimidating you with his mere gaze. I like a good portrait, and this is one of the best ones I've seen. So, kudos, Payam. Finally, let's go for our bonus piece, and this one is a little bit grotesque maybe, but we'll do it anyway. This one is Scorpion by... It says A.E. Maith. Let's just go with that. Man, I used to be all over Mortal Kombat when I was a kid. I didn't have the game, but my friend, the neighbor's kids, my buddies, they had a cousin who somebody visited them and he brought his Super Nintendo with him and we would play Mortal Kombat 2. And Scorpion, one of the coolest characters. I always wanted to play Liu Kang because of the dragon, but I mean, we're getting on a tangent. Wow, the composition. I painted recently a picture with a chain. It was a Castlevania piece. But this one, every little link of the chain is individually painted, very, very much reflecting all the light in the right way. It just takes so much effort. I don't know if I could do this. All these little links going here, just everything, so many details in this one single element of the artwork. The little blade is going inside somewhere and just out of the mouth. What a weird idea. There's so much blood too, and blood and guts. But mainly, what is the highlight of the piece? It's the face of the character. That little mask, that glint, that golden glint, it is so cool. The eyes, so expressive. Every piece of detail, so well rendered. I just love this. I love the costume, I love the face, I love the mask. I don't know what else is there to say about this. It is just so brilliant. Well done, everybody. And yeah, there we go. That's this week's ArtStation something. What do we call these? Master artwork pieces of the ArtStation world. Ba-ba-dee-ba.